Hello everybody, we are back with another video of my Rustler 4x4. It's not particularly about my Rustler. It is about how to maintain your RC cars when you're letting them sit. When you are not driving them every 2 days. When you're on a vacation or you have school and you can't drive them for like a month. I'm gonna show you how you maintain them for them. When you wanna drive, they stay good and you can instantly start ripping. So first subject are the tires. When your tires sit like this for a long time, they will start to have a dent in them, and when you then start driving, your car is going to shake all around and you just need to replace them. Or you need to replace the foams in there, but something goes bad and it's not nice to drive anymore. I've had this 2 times and it's just yeah, it just makes the whole car just a pain to drive. So I'm gonna give you a couple tips to avoid that. So probably the best one is to just remove your tires and let the car sit on its arms or on the chassis, it doesn't matter. Or you could put the tires underneath the car and they'll sit off the ground with the arms. So I still have tires on this because I'm not putting this car away, but this is just an example. So another way is to just put it on a stand. It's probably also the best looking option. Just put it on a stand like I have here. The tires will be off the ground and yeah, it'll float here. And when you want to rip, put lipo in it and you can go. So this is also a good one. And then last, this is probably the weirdest way, but you can just put your car upside down because they are not touching. This isn't touching the ground or your table. When it sits like this, like nothing is gonna happen to your tires, so you could. It's a good option, especially when you're like working on it, like you have tires and like it's almost finished, and then say you gotta go do something and you're gonna be back in a week and you like just got new tires. Just put it like this. It's the easiest way. So if it's not in the way, you could just do this. Just let it sit like that. And here is another important one. This is not that much about your car, but more about your batteries, which are a pretty important thing about your car. And that is putting them into storage. When you have the Spectrum G2 and G1 lipos, these ones that have smart G2 or just smart, they will do that automatically. But you have to keep in mind, these will storage charge when they're full. So then they will automatically start draining the lipo to get them to a good percentage. But when your lipo is dead, it cannot start charging it. So if you want to put it away and like you have a lot of batteries that need to be actually put in storage, like are not smart, you could just fully charge this one, let it sit for the set amount of hours that you have set in your charger, if you even have it enabled. Then it would automatically do that. But here are these chargers. So this is my Spectrum charger and my normal charger. So both of them, it's easy to to storage charge your lipos. And what does storage charging actually do? It will make sure your lipos are at a, I don't know how many percent it is, but around 50 here and there. So what it will do is put your values of your cell all at a safe voltage, all the same. It'll balance it perfectly and make sure that your lipos don't disage, because just letting it sit for full for like a week, that's bad for your lipos. And I've done it myself. I've not experienced much, but I do know that the lipos I do it with do die faster. I've went about 7 lipos in about 2 years of doing hobby grade RC, so just watch out for that and balance charge them. So I'm also going to show you how to do it. So this is just a normal charger. You're just going to click over to storage charge. You're going to select your amps, and I'm just giving you a tip. Do it when your lipos are dead, because these chargers can only maximally, this one can do 1.5 amp and this one can do 2 amp discharging. So it'll be faster if your batteries are dead than if your batteries are full, because then they'd have to discharge really slow, but when they are full they can just charge up fastly until it's at that correct voltage. And to do is, you basically just connect your LiPo and your balance plug. You go into storage, select your cells, and just start.
Press start.
Oops, wrong button. So these are already all put in storage. So yeah, that's just the main thing, because your LiPos will go bad if you don't do it. And also, if you are like planning to like stop for a year, make sure just to do every 3 months. Just grab them out and just charge them up to storage again, just so they don't fail and drop until they're dead, because that will kill them. When they're dead, it's basically just a wasted battery and you'd have to just buy a new one. Sometimes you can revive them, but when you revive them, there's probably issues with the battery. So even with the precautions you have to take, it could still go bad. So do it like every 2 months, just hook them back up, storage charge again, and then that will just make them stay good. So let's get on to the third subject. Keep them clean, because first of all, nobody wants to see their RCs. Oh yeah, that's my cool car, and it's just all dirty. First of all, just for looks and the fun you'll have driving it, just don't have it look like ugly and dirty. And second of all, it also will destroy like things, also your bearings. So I'll come to that later subject of the video, but also that will just kill your bearings and your shock shafts. They will get like all stuck and not run perfectly how they should. So yeah, just clean them up before you put them away. And yeah, also your screws, you can do them up with a bit of WD-40 if they start rusting, but I would not recommend using water to clean. Just a towel and a cleaning solution for RCs maybe, but not water. Don't spray them off with a garden hose. So here is the fourth thing, your bearings. These bearings, like, they could, even though they're not wet, they could rust up, and then when you start riding, if you don't spray them in with grease or WD-40 or any kind of lubricant, they'll just destroy, because they will spin inside themselves and they will grind the balls in the bearing down. It'll just destroy them. So what I use is this stuff, Premium RC Dry Lube. You can just use WD-40 as well, works just as good. And just before you put them away, or after every drive, or when you cleaned it with water, just go a little bit of, doesn't have to be much, and then just roll the car around so it sets into the bearing. And that's also a real good way of keeping them nice and freely, because you ever bought a used RC and it just likes, yeah, you have to push it like real hard to get it to like move. That's a sign of your bearings, usually, or your gear mesh is like too tight or something like that. Keep them in a like a nice temperature. It will not like really affect it, but it'll affect your oils and your shocks. So just keep them somewhere where the heat of your house, so your radiators in your house, will like keep it warm too. Just put it in, not put it in your attic or in your basement. So that's a good way of keeping them, the shocks happy, the oils and everything, also your diffs happy. So yeah, another good tip. So this is something I do, and that is just when it sits, move your shocks once in a while. Just circulate that oil through your shocks. Just keep the oil a bit circulated. Move it up and down. So just keep that circulating, so your oils will stay nice and good. Yeah, I do not know what to say about that, but that's another good tip. I do it, so it's not needed, but I think it's a nice thing to just help keep your cars happy. So this only applies if you have just like found a car in your attic from 20 years ago or something, a real old car. I have did this too to a car. I had a like 20 or 30-year-old Grosvenor car in my shop one day, and it sat for like 20 or 30 years. So what I did is I took the car outside in a place, you could put it on cardboard, but I did it in a place where oil stains wouldn't be that bad, and I just sprayed the entire car in with WD-40. Just spray it, this is not WD-40, but spray it in everywhere and let it sit outside for 2 or 3 days. And what this will do is it will absorb the WD-40 into the plastic, And what that will do is make it look better, look as good as new. Well, not as good as new, but just look good. That's what it will do. And also it will strengthen it. I've tested out and it works pretty good, that strengthening tip. So that's another good one, but it only applies for like if the car has been sitting for 10 years. But also maybe you just bought a new RC and like the plastic looks a little bit dried up. You could also do that just to keep it happy and make it durable. Or like you've been driving it softly and then you think, oh, I'm gonna bash it hard today. Just do that too. It'll like strengthen it a bit. So then also another tip that does not apply for our electric friends but only for our nitro friends. Drain your drain your engines drain the nitro out of them. Just throw the nitro away. Like, it's been in your tank, it's probably dirty. What you can then also do is just remove your tank, clean it out with just water and maybe a bit of soap, and then try and get some towel in or air compressor and just blow in it. Make sure nothing is left and let it like sit on your radiators for like a week, and then just put it back in. Make sure nothing is left in there. And what you could also do is, just to make sure, is like do a couple drops of nitro in your tank and just shake it up and drain it. Doesn't have to be, just make sure it's new nitro. And then you're gonna make sure there's nothing left in your engine. You're gonna put your finger on the carb with nothing connected to your fuel tank technically, so no nitro in it, and just crank it over. It will start to suck on your finger. Just put it on the carb, remove the air filter, and it will start to suck at your finger because it's finding something to put air into the engine, because it needs air and it cannot get that. So what you could then do is you could remove your glow plug and put a bit of WD-40 in your engine, and then just crank it around. Like if you have pull start, crank it around 2 times, put a little bit more in there, and then just let it sit. Because when nitro engines sit, especially when they are put away after they've just been ran and the engine's hot, they get stuck, and that's a big issue with nitro. The engines lock up. So that's a little way to prevent that from happening. Because like it's not nice to need to fix your nitro engines. It's a hassle to even get your nitro started, and then even fix up your engine. Yeah, I would rather just take an extra, maybe it wouldn't take a week, but just to wash out your tank, let it sit for a week. I would take the extra day or two I would take to just store it nicely, than just to blow it up, waste your engine, because you don't want to do that. So then another tip is keep your radio like with the car, keep your LiPo and your chargers, and maybe have a battery that belongs to this car. Keep it with the car. And also one thing you have to do for not your batteries to corrode, remove the batteries out of your radio and just put new ones in once you can drive again. So, because else it's gonna corrode and maybe your radio won't even work afterwards. So, and also something you would also do is check up your screws. Make sure everything is tight and nothing is loose, because maybe you'll move it around a lot, and then, oh, that is lost, there was something right there. Oh, that is lost, something was right there. Everything is, maybe that's lost, that's lost, that's lost. Maybe that will happen if you don't make sure everything's tightened up. So yeah, that was my video about a lot of tips you could do to store your RC cars properly and be able to drive them when you want to, not have to worry about something being wrong. Well, it could always something be wrong, but it's just a couple of tips you could use. So I hope you find this video helpful, and you have learned something about it. And just keep your RC good, guys. Yeah, that's one thing. It sucks to have your RC car be bad whenever you want to drive it. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. And yeah, if you have any more tips, leave them in the comments. And also just don't forget to subscribe. Maybe even leave a like if you want to. But maybe leave a comment. Do you have any tips? Are you gonna use any of these tips? So yeah. And with that said, I'm going to edit the video, and Yeah, well, it's edited already if you're seeing this, so that means CK Performance is out.